readers. I am Liz Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. In this episode, paranormal romance author Saranna DeWylde joins the show to chat about her new Fairy Godmothers Inc. series. She also shared a shocking tale about a former job that wasn't quite what it seemed, and Saranna played a round of fairy tale trivia. Enjoy! And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, Saranna. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance.
Hi, Liz. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. So tell me about your sexy, cozy, paranormal rom-com, Fairy Godmothers Inc., which I thought was wonderful on many levels.
And it's about growth and loving yourself enough to let yourself have happily ever after. Lucky Fujiki is one of the klutziest women on the planet, and that is actually sort of modeled after me. I fall upstairs. If it can happen to me, it will. This story was sort of born with, romance isn't always a smooth trip. It doesn't always follow the arc, not in books and not in real life. And what if things just kept going wrong was what I thought. And, she has this boyfriend who they were deeply in love in college, but every time they tried to have sex, something awful happened. And when I say awful, I mean like a pack of wild boars and bees and tornadoes and just all of the awful things. And sometimes it can seem like that in romances, like in the real world, that stuff just keeps conspiring against you. So the book is really about just pushing forward anyway.
Lucky has 3 fairy godmothers, which I'm guessing you kind of fashioned after Sleeping Beauty with having the 3 fairy godmothers.
They were sort of like a mashup between a nicer version of the sisters in Hocus Pocus and the 3 fairies in Sleeping Beauty. Kind of mash them up together in a nice little, so they've got a little sauce on them, but
yeah, no, I love it. You have a mishmash of a lot of different fairy tale stories, which at first some of them are obvious, and then some of us like, oh wait, that's supposed to, oh okay, I get it. The magical town of Ever After, Missouri, and its inhabitants are richly described and very memorable. How did you approach world building?
I discussed the world building with my editor before I even started writing. And we decided that we wanted it to be a little like magic pocket tucked away from the rest of the world. Something, insular from everything else that was going on, but not too big, not too crazy, just these normal people going about their lives and doing what they're doing. So that was how I approached it. It was just, just a little bit of magic here, a little bit of magic there.
There is a tough-talking red cardinal named Bronx. And as a native Bronxite, I appreciated the nod to my native New York City. What inspired Bronx? Because to be honest, he kind of sounds like he's from Brooklyn.
He does. And I wanted to name him Brooklyn, but he was like, no, my name is Bronx. But I do love New York so much. It's one of my favorite places. Every time I've been, I haven't gotten to do any of the touristy things that I've wanted to do. But I've had cooler, more authentic experiences with friends who live there. But he is sort of a nod to my love for New York. So I do love the accents. I just love them. I'm like, just talk to me. I love it.
I'll have to leave voicemail messages for you with me just whispering in your ear.
Oh my God, yes.
Hi, Saranna. It's Liz. Talk to you later.
I can't remember the title of it, but it was a Catherine Hart book, and it was a Western, and my mom had paper clipped the dirty parts, and she said, just skip that. But you're really going to like the story. I think you should read this book. And so I read it and I loved it. And I'm pretty sure the heroine's name was Esperanza, I think. I just remember she had this pretty hair, and it was just fantastic. And as soon as my grandmother figured out I was reading them, she gave me Skye OMalley by Bertrice Small.
Okay.
And I was like 10.
Wow.
And she said, "You're going to like the story." I mean, I did, but I was like, how do these people do these things and look at each other in the face? How do you look at someone's face after you've seen their bits? I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's all, and that came from your grandma.
Yeah. She just handed it to me, and my grandma was this little woman who was very, very fashionable. She had pearls, and she always wore expensive cologne and perfume, and she always had her hair done up like Southern women do in the curlers and, the curls and everything else. And she was just very proper. And then to have her hand me this book and be like, "Oh, you're going to love it." And then I'm like, huh?
Did you ever tell your mom, you're like, "Hey, Grandma gave me this book," and like, did your mom know you were reading it?
She did know I was reading it, and she hadn't read it. She didn't really. Oh, she was like, "Oh, that's about the female pirate, isn't it?" She's like, "I don't like that one."
Would you consider writing into the next story, or perhaps the third one, a magical creature, preferably a pig, like a Three Little Pig, because I love pigs, named Liz Donatelli?
Oh my God, I absolutely would. The second and third books are already finished though. So I might have to put you in 4 if I get to write that one.
Well, fingers crossed.
I'm going to write this down. A pig named Liz, and she and Bronx are going to be friends. I can see this. And I will definitely put pearls on that pig. Maybe a tiara. I'm not sure.
I think it works.
Definitely works.
I believe you also were a personal assistant call girl?
Yes. I've had a lot of crazy jobs, as most authors have. I used to work for ValueJet Airlines. Mm-hmm. And when we had our first shutdown, I had just gotten my first apartment. So I needed something. And I applied for this personal assistant. And they were like, "Yeah, this is a temp service." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so all I did was set appointments. And then this woman who was like one of the temps asked me if I would like help her with her hair and help her with this. And I was like, sure, because they were paying me $15 an hour to just do nothing. And this was in like 96. So $15 an hour was like great. Yeah. And they're like, "You can read at work. All you have to do is answer the phone and set these appointments." And I was like, yeah, okay.
Did you notice a lot of men were calling? I mean,
yeah, but I just thought, I was just 18. I was stupid. I didn't know anything. Yeah. And it wasn't until the boss said, "Okay, like one of the girls is sick and I'm going to need you to cover for her." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And he was like, "All right, well, so I'm going to need you to come in at 12. And I was like, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow." And he's like, "Oh, baby, no." He was like, midnight is when I need you to come in." And I sat there for a minute like, huh? Okay, why is that? And then he told me I would make $110 per hour and told me everything I would be doing. And I was like, oh. So I said, "I don't think that's going to work for me. I'm sorry." And when I told my mother, she laughed for like a solid 5 minutes. Like she couldn't breathe. She was like, how did you not know?
The name Cinderella is actually a kind of version of what original title? Cinder Maid, Cinder Wench, or Cinder Brat?
Cinder Wench?
Correct. In the story of Little Red Riding Hood, what did her mother put in her basket to bring to Grandma's house? Apples and wine, nuts and apples, or cake and wine?
Cake and wine.
Yes. Now, did you happen to know that, or was that a good guess?
Oh, I knew that, or I thought I knew that.
In the original story, Hansel and Gretel get assistance from what kind of creature on their way home from the witch's house? A frog, a duck, or a horse?
I don't actually know that one, so I'm going to guess a horse.
No, it is a duck. Interesting tidbit, after killing the witch, the duck helps them cross a body of water. The Sleeping Beauty that we all know and love ends with the prince's kiss and the two living happily ever after. But in Charles Perrault's adaptation, the prince did not announce his new bride to his parents until they already had 2 children. Why did he wait so long? 1, the family was cursed and he wanted to save them from it. 2, his father had already promised him to another. Or 3, his mother was an ogress and loved to eat children.
Is it number 2?
It is not number 2. The prince's mother was an ogress and loved to eat children. You might want to put an ogress in one of your future novels, because apparently an ogress was a thing, and it could give birth to a prince. The last question in the original tale of Beauty and the Beast, which is my personal favorite. Beauty had several brothers and sisters. When she returned after residing with the Beast for some time, they tried to persuade her not to go back. When Beauty does return, what does she find when she arrives? 1, the Beast has taken his own life out of grief. 2, Beauty returns too late and the Beast is already dead. Or 3, Beauty returns late and the Beast is so angry he kills her.
3?
Yes.
Going.
Sadly, Beauty returns late and the Beast is so angry he does in fact kill her. So there is that. Well, thank you so much, Saranna, for joining me today. It was a wonderful experience to visit Ever After Missouri, and it was an equally wonderful experience to chat with you today.
It was so great talking to you. Thank you so much for having me.